shine. Gonna be here in no time now. Bad times, gray skies. Push them all away, turn them upside down. You're gonna break new ground, turn everything around. You're gonna live your life. There's a beautiful.
Alright, welcome back to the Booga Box live stream. It is Medium Project Monday. Taking me a little bit longer to get all this going than I expected. Kind of started running out of time quickly tonight, so I think everything's going well now though. So hope everybody had a good weekend. We're going to be working on our bow tie. Not a whole lot left. Gonna make some changes from the last tie I did. Hopefully it'll be alright. So we're just gonna go ahead and get right on into it then. Get as much time in it as we can tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to finish. It kind of depends on how long the center section takes and if I'm gonna keep it the way I'm planning. Like I said, it's a new styled tie, so it's a little different. Not a ton different, but it is different. So, but again, I want to thank everybody that's watched any of our streams and watched us live, or if you watch us later, I want to thank you all for doing so. Right now, we're working on closing up the top and bottom of the tie. Basically, it's just 4 and 1 in a circle, but I'm going to come through and we're going to weave the edges down. On both sides, and to close it up, then we'll make the wrap for the outside. Okay. Kind of like I did on the last one that I did, but it will be slightly different. Actually, am I doing something weird here? Should be on there. Yep, so it's always a tight fit getting these little guys in here. I want to double check, make sure I wouldn't do anything weird, because I got that one laying weird, but I think it'll start laying down better once I get more rings going into it. It looks like I'm having a little bit of loss tonight on the internet side. Saying 1%, but I am having a green on the other part, so hopefully we're still going good. Come on, get down on through there. Like I said, this one's always a little bit tighter but you kind of want it that way so it'll all fit together nice and pull together nice and tight, so it's not too flippy floppy. No, I might have did something wrong here. No, that's got 2, that's got 2. Just feels a little weird, but it has been a while since I've done one, so if I don't like it, something seems off, I can go back and redo it, so that's always good too, right? Over the weekend I got if you've seen on the website or on the Facebook page, I got a lot of my I got all the rings cut up and everything for our large project night, the chessboard. And then I got another pound done for the jelly cube. Just so I had some sitting around and ready when it's time. And I've got some other things done around the house. And most of today, though, kind of running behind here because I've been working on the band's website and getting stuff set up for their new season coming up. Since they actually are having drum line camp this week. They'll inside doing all that because it's for the floor show inside. So I'm not really doing a whole lot with that part. I mean, I'll still go videotape them whenever they have the drumline competition, but next week actually starts full band camp, 2 days, where they go in the morning and get in the afternoon. So start getting busy with that here soon. So we're just trying to get everything set up and ready for that. And always, getting ready for the new season. They got 4 competitions planned this year, so it's going to be a pretty busy season this year for the band. Being that last year it really didn't get to do much with everything being closed down. All the competitions got canceled for the most part. They had some online that I went and videotaped for that they made video submissions with. So probably need to move this camera a little bit more up here. See if I can get a better angle. Like I said, it was so quick getting everything set up tonight. I kind of got a little off on some things and way behind where I should have been, but I definitely look at people that do streaming a lot differently now that I've started doing streaming, because there's kind of a lot on the backside that you got to do that you don't really think about when you're just kind of a watcher of streams. And so now I see why some of those channels, they have a whole production crew, there's several people helping get things going. I mean, some do it on their own, but I did only have the one camera. Would probably make it easier than running multiple cameras and all that, but it's part of the fun, I guess. So yeah, you have to go over and check out the rings that got cut up. I got 4 pounds of bronze, coiled, cut, cleaned. They're ready to go. About a pound 4 ounces of bright aluminum for it. I was thinking about doing it in I'm not sure I didn't screw something up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they're all going through the right way. Just keep having to look at it. Just seems a little weird, but when I look at the other one, it's like, oh, they're going through the same ones here. But I was going to do stainless steel and bronze, but then I was like, man, it's going to be one heavy chessboard. So I decided to go with the bright aluminum. I mean, it's chessboard, it's not something you're wearing, so weight wouldn't necessarily be a factor per se, but I didn't want it to be too crazy, so I decided to go that way. We'll have a border of aluminum around it anyway, so I have to grab me a quick swig of drinkage. Oh, no, I missed it. How did I... Oh, I see what I did. Yeah. No, that's got 2. I did it right. Dummy me. Feel like I'm making the right counts, but then I keep looking, like I said, it just a little different, so that one keeps wanting to come over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as I'm getting through 4, I should be correct. And once they get pushed down and moved out of the way, the rubber rings kind of want to stick into place, and it takes a little bit of extra moving to get it going. And let me check over here. Okay, frame rate's definitely went back down to 0.5, so I was a little worried there for a second. But we'll at least get an hour in tonight. Hopefully a little more. Kind of depends on everything's going. It's kind of crazy getting set up and everything tonight. Didn't get some other things done I needed to get done, but you know. 1, 2, maybe 4. I didn't get through this one. Then that one. Here we go. What did I do? I did something weird there, because that one's not coming through. It should be on the inside of that one. That's what I did. I went through the outside of the one before it, actually. And I want to take that one out and this one, because it should have went through the inside, but I went around the outside of it. There we go. I knew there was something weird about that one. Maybe I should try to tilt that one up just a little bit more. I don't have my chair kind of in the right spot, so I'm a little further back than I would like to be. Correctamundo. And when I get done tonight, I'll have some more work to do with the website stuff for the band. I need to get it. I need to spend some more time on the Booga Box, boogamail.com website. I want to get some more things added. Just haven't had a whole lot of chances here lately to do so. So I want to take some time and get that done here soon. We got our event coming up here in just under 2 weeks. Our first event of the year, which will be kind of nice to actually do again. First one in a good year and a half. It was right after the Christmas season there. Everything got closed up before we started back. Normally, we've had a few we've done before in May. But we didn't do any in May this year. So, first one is actually into July, so it's a late-ish start, but, you know, getting back into the swing of things. Get some stuff going, all that. And hopefully we'll get lined up some more. I know we'll have some in November, December, like we normally do. They've sent out information for those. And gonna try to find some others to put in there. I don't want to, not go into any if they conflict with band stuff, but I'm gonna try to plan them out around band stuff. But the band's got a lot going on this year, so it's gonna be a little harder. But really, it's just for about a month and a half is really when they're heavy duty. They've got things going on there at the last week or two of September, and then October gets pretty full. And then after that, November, it normally dies down pretty quickly. For what I do to help them out, I mean, they get into doing district competitions and stuff like that for concert band. But not a lot for me to go do a lot, constantly, I guess I should say, a thing, so. Let's see here. This one, and that one. Come on, get on through. And then through there, and that one. That'll be the last one. I always have one single laying on top. And then we can go seam up the bottom side. So that's how that kind of pulls together. I actually did do that a little differently than I did the last one now that I'm looking at it. But that's how we're going to do this side too. And I guess if I don't like it, I can pull it apart and come back through the other way. But we'll see how she works out. Let's see here. Check out my other one. I went the same direction. So we do that. We got these two. And these two. Now that's gonna leave me a third open. I need that single, that one, this one. Yeah, so, and then through that one and that one. Should be correct. I can tell I'm off on my other camera still. Let me try to slide my chair up a little bit here. Get me more into the angle of that one. That should help. And so the next one will come down through. Actually, this way. And then over the top of those two. Then that's going to move that one. It'll change once I get that other ring in there though, the next ring. It'll pull it where it needs to go. Quick check. Everything's going good. Everything will get pulled nice and tight, and then once I get the center band put through, we're going to attach the, where'd my clip go? There it is. We'll run our clip through underneath it, and these will go forward and push it forward, so it'll kind of bend up out of the way like that until you get your clips, and then you push your clips back down to tighten it up. I don't think I'm going to use the clip holders that they have on here. They fit 16 gauge without a problem, but I might. I mean, I don't know exactly yet till I actually get in there and get to that point and see how it's going to work. We could change that up, but it just kind of depends still once we get to that point. And that's about most of my new chainmail type things. It's always a little different. Sometimes I have to pull things apart to make it work right. Just kind of depends. I'm working on something new, even though it's not necessarily new. I mean, the bow tie itself's not new, but the clip I'm using is, instead of using a chain to hold on. Which is something I wanted to do for a while. Actually, I got those clips a while back, but again, with COVID lockdowns and blah blah blah, it was like, hell, I didn't want to use everything up and not have events to go to. But then, you know, that's kind of why I'm doing stuff, selling online now, to try to push that a little more and make up for the difference. Which I had another wallet chain that I had to get done, so it's always nice when you get orders. And I do want to thank everybody who's made orders through the Booga Box, either on Facebook or Booga Mail, my website. One day I hope to have the Booga Box website name. I kind of have it, but it's a whole kind of another situation that we try not to talk about too much. We had some problems a few years ago. So I still have that domain, but it's not necessarily usable right now. Hope one day to be able to finally use it. Get under there. Some of you might know the whole situation because it was talked about a while back then, but alright, you little gnat, fly, whatever you are. The door's been open quite a bit today. It's been a little warmer, but not real hot, so the door kind of got left open at different times today. Plus I was going in and out doing stuff, so we let some little buggies in today for sure. So I need to get a cat door. Well, today wouldn't have been a cat problem, it was more me because I was in and out several different times, so we'll close this up. We'll definitely get this closed up. We're not even half an hour in yet. Then we'll start working on it. It's basically just another 4-in-1 European 4-in-1 strip that we'll make to go around all this, but a little bit smaller so it all kind of pulls together. It's kind of how we did that. And get the look of the bend in here. We'll kind of pinch the middle. Now this one's going to be a little bit smaller in the center here. If it's too small, I think I'll instead of using 2 metals on the outside and one, I'm thinking I might go metal through the middle with rubber rings on the outside so that I can come back through, and if I don't like it and want it to be a little wider, I can come back through and add them on the outside. So this one will definitely be a bit different than the last one. Again, I'm not sure how people have ever done this. I've seen a few pictures through the years, but I played them mostly by ear and playing. And I did forget to bring out the faux ties. Like I said, I made some faux where they're in the shape of a bow tie, but they're made for necklaces and not made to go at the collar per se. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through. I thought I was going to be cool doing it that way, but I'm going to have to come back through on this other side and change those up. Because they need to be, that one needs to come down, and the two, see how these are all going around and under and around and under, and up here I definitely did them a little differently. I thought it was going to be okay, but I'm not digging the other side. That's why I went this way on this side, to see how differently it felt. And I definitely like the feel better of this side. What I did last time, I should have just stuck with what I know. But you know, that's chainmail. You can kind of play with it. Sometimes it'll work out better, sometimes it doesn't. Just kind of depends. I know I've said that quite often through all these, but it is kind of the nature of chainmail. So, what I think I might actually do is, we'll finish this one up, and then I'm going to start on the middle strip. It's not very big or long or complicated, so I think I'm going to do it, and then once I do that, before we wrap it around everything, I'll pull out the other side and rework that. Get it the way I want, but I don't want to bore you with taking apart, but if we get to it during the stream, we'll go ahead and start taking it apart. I just don't want to spend all that time doing it, you know, removing something for you, but I'll definitely do it before I put it all together, because it's just, I definitely like the feel and look of the other way. And I'm currently working on this one. Really pulled it together tight. You can almost get a smile out of it. And I was thinking it was going to be too tight, but I thought if I did the other side the same way, no, I want to go the other way just so I can tell. So and it looks the same on both of these from this angle, but when you turn it and flip it over, you can see how over here we're going around the outside, and on the other side we're going through the innard instead of around the outside. So I think the look looks better the way I'm currently working this edging compared to the other one, but that's what I wanted to see. It needed to be on the same piece. I was comparing it to my other one that I've done this way, but different colors can throw off the look a little bit, quite a bit on some beeves. Don't need too many more. Don't want too many out here. Before we start doing the strip. And being the rubber rings kind of can throw some things off just because they don't move out of the way and move the way you expect them to all the time as you do with metal rings. Because those are nice and sturdy. The rubber rings can kind of flip a little bit and tweak a little bit, hold them in a different direction, kind of per se. So, alright. And, you know, the rubber rings are kind of cool. There are a lot of people that don't like using them. If you leave them out and don't kind of necessarily keep them cleaned up, they can become a little... I've got a package... I did have them out, but I think I moved them. You don't want to leave them out in the sun, that's for sure. I mean, for time and time and time again, they're perfectly fine if you don't. And even then, even though the color has bleached out of the red rings that I had, it was kind of my test to see what happened if they were sitting out in the sun all the time. And they definitely faded, but I still had good stretchy. Now, that was just with sunlight. I did another set of testing. If you leave them out in the weather for months on end, the rubber rings can start misshaping a little bit. But I figure for this kind of a project and a tie, you're not going to be leaving it outside. You're not going to be in the rain, blah, 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 blah. So I think they work perfectly fine for my ties. I made some stretchy version of another tie before, so a regular neck style tie. And then they use these for the women's tops. I call them chainmail bras. I don't think they're necessarily bras. I guess not really a bikini either, but I mean there's different styles of tops you can have. But alrighty, and then the last one there. It's gonna go between those and over that one. Just make sure I had it right. Through. I do remember this one being a little trickier because of being on the edge of your other, but we got it. I can just keep in the camera view again. I was doing good there for a few days, but I have to remind myself since I didn't stream Saturday. I was thinking about it, but I just wanted to get in there and get them done. So there's the edging there. And then we'll come through and redo that edging because it's just pulling it way too tight too. It needs to come out more, so putting them around the proper way over there I think will be better. So for right this second we'll just move those on up over there so we can start on our center strip. I'll be able to get a basic idea of how long I need to do. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I don't want these. Grab the wrong ones. These are what I'm using now. I need these. Oh, excuse me. 3/16. Man, I got the hiccups. Go ahead and get some of these pulled on out. Don't know how many I'll need right now. So, well, like I said, it's just kind of a simple horn one strip of it. And we'll wrap it around. And they get a little, like I said, we'll pull a little tighter, so it will give a little bit of a stretch to the rings, but to the rubber rings, EPDMs. I can't remember what it stands for right off the bat, but they're basically food grade safe rings. You could gnaw on them if you wanted to. I actually had somebody who wanted to make a teething style ring for a baby, and I just didn't feel comfortable enough with it, so I didn't want to do it. More so, I guess if I would have done it out of stainless that I could weld closed, I just didn't want something in their mouth with rings that could pop open, because she wanted color in it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I can make a little cool little thing that they could play with and kind of stretch and pull and play, but I didn't want to have any little parts coming apart. I just didn't like it. And then later on, when I was thinking about it again later, I was like, well, I could go with a welded ring, and then I wouldn't have to worry about it as much. I mean, I'd still be afraid they would pull so hard they could break a rubber ring, which isn't impossible, but I don't know if a baby or a toddler could possibly do it, because it took a lot of pulling to actually get one to break. Now, if it gets a tooth mark in it or something, that could change. You know, if it's a good solid ring, rubber ring, I don't think it'd be a problem. But if you get a little nick in it or something, I think that it could pop off. And I still don't think that'd be too much of a problem. But I'd rather not have something that you're gonna have a kid playing with and putting it in their mouth. Not worried about the material, more worried about just something coming apart and swallowing the material. So that's one of the few other things that I have passed on. I liked the idea, I just didn't like how it would come together. I'm trying to think of some. I had another person that wanted to get a chainmail glove, and I'm like, they were for a whittler who had cut his hands a couple times. A friend of his wanted to see about a chainmail glove, how that would work, and I was like, yeah, I could do it, but when it comes to that, actually, you know, I could have done it, and I could have charged, blah, blah, but it was like, you know, it would be cheaper for you if you went with a shark glove, because it's basically chainmail. And they're small enough rings where you got all your full dexterity movements and everything like that, but it was going to be a lot cheaper than something I could do. And at the time I didn't have my welder. This was a good 6 years ago probably. And so, you know, if it's something unsafe about it, you know, or if it's something, you know, there's other things that can make it cheaper for you, I'd rather go that, because I don't, you know, I try to keep my prices as low as I can for the most part, enough so that hopefully people will like it, and enough I can keep going as a business. So, and you know, I have been asked before, people always ask me, do you put stuff on sale? And it's like, be honest with you, I try to price all my stuff, because I hate sales, to be honest with you. I mean, I use sales a lot myself, but that's just because if something can go on sale, to me, that means it should be that you can sell it for that price. Because if you're putting it on sale, in all these stores that have sale, they're still making money on it. So I try to price my stuff where I don't feel comfortable having sales, Now, I've given deals before, and I'll still do deals. You know, if you get multiple items of my thing, you know, I might do some deals a little bit. But I just always, sales have always been, it does make you feel good if you find something on sale. But I always felt like if you can put it on sale, it means you're overcharging to begin with. And maybe that's just in my head. My wife knows all about it. I always talk about sales all the time. You know, I get a lot of my stuff I'll buy on sales too. And it does make me feel good that I got it a little cheaper or whatnot, but I'm always thinking at the same time, if you could sell it for this, you're still making money. Why isn't this the normal price? So that's one reason you won't find me have anything on sale for the most part. Now, like I said, if you buy multiple items and you want to chat with me, either in Facebook or emails or something like that, I'll make deals in a way. You know, if you're buying multiple pieces, I'm not just going to put one single thing on sale though, or you know, take this off of that. I wouldn't necessarily call it a sale, but I do on occasion on my laser stuff. I will have a discount code. It's not necessarily a sale, but I do that because of the team I'm on that I do that with, and or the band stuff that I do. I don't want to make any money really off the band for any of the laser stuff that I do for them. I'd rather, you know, them be able to. I'm doing it to help them raise funds, so that, you know, for them, and then we come up and sell it for normal price, and then any profits go to the band. So, let's see here. See how much longer we're going to have to make this because of the squeezer. We just need enough to keep it squeezed together. I definitely think I'm going to come one more on the outsides on that, so we'll go two more, and then I'm going to start putting hedging. Put on another ring on each side, because right now this is, it's not really that much. Maybe, I don't know, I'll put one on one side and I'll give it a test, see what I think. See how she goes. So this would be one, and two would be the next one, but that would be the connector ring. So I need to leave it out for now, and then I'll fix that side of that. Let's just see if we're going to be good here. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. So then we'll just come down and do an edging on one side here. Oh, where are we at? 38 minutes, so. Now I guess we probably will have plenty of time to get back into the edging on the tie part itself and start pulling that out. Like I said, I hate doing that on the stream just because, you know, it can be a little boring pulling them out and putting them together, but it's going to have to be what it is, right? So, it shouldn't take too long, so maybe we'll get it done before. Ooh, I didn't put the metal in there. I guess I should add one more. Actually, the more I'm thinking about it right now, I probably should come through and yeah, I'm gonna do that. And that'll give us a total of 3 more, and that should give enough extra to go through the clip, the bow tie clip that we're going to use. It's going to look a little weird in a way, only having one edge. But if I add 2 onto that, that's really going to make it quite a bit wider, which actually might not be too bad. I don't actually have a bow tie. I've never worn a bow tie. See, maybe I should buy a bow tie. I've seen several though, so. like I said, my daughter's high school jazz band, they all wore ties in that, so I was wanting to make one year. I thought about making them up all bow ties, but then I was like, ooh, that's going to get expensive kind of quickly. Because I would have had 13-ish. There's 13, I think, guys, and then there was 3, 4, 5 females, girls that couldn't wear them. Went the right. Actually, I didn't put any rings on there, did I? Forgot to put my rings on. Where's my closure at on this one? Kind of getting out of picture, I'm sure. I had to find my closure on that though, because yeah, I'm only going through 2. I need to have 4 so that the other ring will be my connector ring for it all. This one's going to have to open back up. Where you at, Mr. Closure? There he is. Actually, these smaller golden ones got really good cuts on them. I will say that's one thing I like about the rings that I just cut up over the weekend. The cuts are so nice. No extra. They're great. I love them. But that's what you get when you do your own rings instead of buying rings. You know, most time you get pretty decent stuff when you buy them, but like I've had some crappy ring cuts before where they're not straight, and that doesn't mean they won't close right, but you know, instead of being nice straight 90-degree angle cuts, they'll be either cut like this at an angle through the ring, so they're not perfectly 90 degrees. They're still okay with each other, but I don't know, they're just a little weird, and they can give you a harder time on your top of your ring when you're on your closure when they're like that, because there's less material right there. So I've had them when they were cut that way. I've lost like the tips of them when I go to close them, because when you close them, you pull it together a little bit, and so you can get the material that was cut away for making the cut to open them. You always lose a little bit that way. And so when they're at an angle like that too, it just makes the material real thin. And when you make, I don't know if you can ever hear it when I'm working on this, you hear a lot of clicks sometimes when these are getting closed, because you're pushing them together and kind of want them in tight, so you'll hear them click together, and that click will pop off some of those tops sometimes. Not all the time, but I've had some do that, and it's what drives me nuts when they're not nice and 90-degree cuts where they're coming more at an angle in there. And I've had some that are worse than others. Some, you know, off by a few degrees, okay, but I've had some that have come in, you know, probably 35 degrees, and it's just crazy. I actually have a group that I've put to the side that I won't use because of that. I had too many starting tips breaking off, and I was like, I don't want to have to guess that these are going to continue to work and or not work quite right. So I was like, kind of like those purples I had, I still have them sitting out because I was like, I'm not putting them back in there. They're not going back into supplies. Still don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I don't want them mixed in there and then pull them out again and go, oh yeah. I've done that twice already with them, so they got left out and they're going to stay out till I get new. And then, like I said, I still don't know what I'm going to do with them. I could put them all into the junk rings to make them a junk mail that I plan on. And once I get enough junk mail, I mean, I probably got enough where I could do something, but I want to make something bigger out of the junk mail. Or I'm half tempted, I might try a half of them and put them through the tumbler for several days and either wear off a lot so that they're really worn, or wear it all the way off where I'm just right back down to bright aluminum again. So there's no coating or anything on them at all. I don't know exactly how long that would take. Some I have done some testing on how long it would take to wear off this. Put them in stainless steel shot and put them in the tumbler. And I've had some colors that I put in there literally for 2 days, and it didn't look like anything happened. Nothing happened to them. And then I had some others, same company but a different color, and you know, after 12 hours you were starting to see some. I mean, they still looked decent after the 12 hours, but by 24 hours they were already, you know, pretty much not completely clean. I think it took me another 24 to get them down to raw metal again, but definitely had a lot more wear, quicker wear, I should say. But even that, I mean, you tumble these kind of rings, anodized aluminum and stainless steel shot, if it lasts more than a couple hours, it's pretty good coating on it, just because, I mean, that's a lot of wear in a short amount of time using things that, you know, won't normally be together. Alrighty. That one goes over there. Get my 2 opens, so flip around. That's good on that. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to add the other one to the other side. I don't like the look of that. It's not proportional enough for me. But if I would have went the other way with just the center first one, this gives me only 2 rubber rows instead of the other way would have given me 3, which might have still been okay, but being smaller rings, I kind of wanted to have more metal in it than rubber. If I was using the 1/4 inch ones, it probably would have been fine to do it the other way, and I wouldn't have had any kind of issues, but want it to be semi-sturdy. And let me actually look here. If these go fully open, I mean, they don't have to go full open. I just want to make sure that this will, oh yeah, that'll easily still fit in there, even with adding the other ring on the other side. So that's what I needed to make sure would work. So they can pop open, get it on your collar, close it back up without too many issues. I guess the only other, no, it should be straight once that's in there. I don't see that being a problem. Sometimes I think of problems that I think are going to be problems, and then when I get there, that, you know, the thing I thought was going to happen didn't happen, so it all worked out good. And there have been other times where I thought it would work good and it didn't, so never know till you try, as I always say. Let's see here, any comments? I haven't looked over here in a while. Everything seems to be going well over there, so it is a Monday. Everybody's got things going on, so if you're watching later, that's all good too. Like I always say, you know, whenever you might view it, it's all good. I know whenever I go check out my YouTube channels, it seems like I don't have them in there live, but I've gotten several views per video. It seems like minimum of 2, if not more. So they are getting watched outside of the live stream, so that's a good thing. Can you see? No, I guess he's kind of hiding behind the camera, isn't he? My Duck and Nana. Come on out here, Mr. Duck and Nana. Get some airtime going. Can you see him in that view? I need to wait for the... yeah, for the most part. I have about a 10-second delay there. Move him over up into view a little bit more. Still trying to come up with a name for Duck and Nana. Like I said, my youngest... When I say my youngest, she's 21. It seems so weird. You say your youngest, you think, oh, okay, so you got a younger, you know, maybe under 10, possibly 12, but yeah. My youngest is 21, so she still wants me to name it Chuck. I just don't know. I just don't feel Chuck is proper for him yet. he's always sitting here on my desk, so I see him all the time when I'm over here mailing. And it's like, I just don't feel Chuck. I mean, maybe it will one day, because I mean, I don't call him Chuck, but every time I look at him, I think Chuck. And maybe he'll follow in and finally become Chuck. I don't know. I'm just waiting. I've tried, I don't know, I'm probably up to about 20 different names now. I know, I'm crazy. I'm thinking about a name for a stupid duck-a-nana. But I don't know if you're part of my personal page. I posted I only had this little thing for he was inside for a little bit, but about a total of 2.5, 3 hours. I had a praying mantis that I found inside. He was sitting on my desk chair. When I got up, came back like 5 minutes later, and he was sitting on my desk chair. And he was kind of a baby praying mantis, because he's only about 2 inches long. He's small, but I don't know. I get a kick out of the way praying mantises move around and move their head and their eyes. It's just so cool looking to me. And so I corralled him up, got him back outside, put him on top of the camper, and he hung out there for a couple hours. But in that couple hours, I already gave him a name. He was Mason. Mason the praying mantis. But it just seemed to fit. I think I actually, what was the first, I called him something else out loud once, and I was like, no, that ain't gonna work. And then I was like, all right, Mason. And I said it out loud, and I was like, oh, that works. So I've actually named bugs before. I've named spiders that I've found in places before, and when I'm going to let them hang out for a while, I'll give them names. I'm weird that way. But for some reason, I'm just having a hard time with the duck-a-nana. Just don't know what I want to name him yet. Maybe it's because he's more inanimate, but I got Timmy and Jimmy, the tube guy. The tube guys, since I've got 2 of them now. Alright, so that's all that. Yeah, it was just going to be Timmy, and then I was like, I need another one, because I'm going to put this one up on kind of a shelf thing during my setup at events. It's like I need another one for my main table where I'm sitting behind on the far edge, so it'd be about a good 8 foot apart, and then when I got it, I was like, Timmy and Jimmy, that'll work. So, alrighty. So we got that little part done, and we're gonna have to go ahead on here and get this part taken care of, because that's just gonna drive me bonkers. Also gonna take longer because I gotta find the openings where my closures are at, and try to be fairly gentle because I don't want to tear up my rings. One thing that's nice about chainmail, you can pull things apart and reuse them. As long as you don't, scratch them up or anything. Don't open them too far and crack their finish. Their anodizations, or whatever you want to call it. Get a few pulled out here, and then I'm going to put it back in so I can make sure I'm doing them correctly. Or at least enough to match the other side. Drink real quick again. Where are we at anyway? 53 minutes. So, yeah, we should easily be able to pull these out and get it back together. I don't know if we'll totally get it finished on the stream tonight, but hopefully. Like I said, as long as I don't need to take a break and or go to the bathroom or anything. I always try to do that before the stream too, so I don't want to say hold on guys during the middle of my stream and disappear. I have watched streams where people do that, and I understand, nature calls, but I'd rather not if at all possible. So let's see here. The first one comes through that one and through those, right? And that should put me captured and through the centers. There we go. That first one's just going to be kind of a booger just because of the way the rubber ring wants to kind of come through it. But then after that, we should be good. These two under and over. So we're back to the way we should be. Alrighty. Again, I'm going to have to pull these a little closer at times so I can find my closure. Other than that, or you'll have my big old head in the way. Hopefully I don't screw up any of these pulling them out. So far they've been decent enough. That's the other rings can be a little finicky sometimes, but being that I mixed it with rubber rings, it kind of helps things. This one I'm a little concerned about though. I'm going to check it out. Once I get it out of here. Come on. There you go. It's actually alright. Just had a funky cut, I guess. Being tighter where it was. Most of them, all the openings should be kind of on one side, but that was normally, I mean, I try to make my closures good where you can't see them. Sometimes you will, but I do try to twist them around into places where their closures are kind of hidden, just so that, you know, it just looks better overall per se. Alright. I think that was... No. Where are you at? Thought I had it. There it is. It was hiding from me. So, the better the closure, the harder it is to find them. So I guess that's a good thing when I'm having issues trying to find it, right? Means it was a good closure. But I do hate taking apart good closures. Especially sometimes, you know, there's times when you're mailing and boy, you'll just get that closure that just went together so smoothly, and the next ring, it'll give you all kinds of problems. You always got the few good closures, the several pain in the butt closures, and then the rest are just in between. And you try to make them all as equal as possible, but I mean, every ring is different. Even if they're off the same coil, at least with the anodized ones that I buy, I have less problems with, like I said, the rings I make myself. They're definitely a little easier and different. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and get me a second ring going in up here real quick, just so I can know that things are kosher where it's supposed to be. Probably did that all off screen too. Even though I didn't do much, I think I only got probably an hour in on the jelly cube is all I really did since last Thursday night. It's really all the chainmail had done, other than making up rings and stuff. I did get that going, but it's through and through. Okay. So I didn't get really that much any on chainmail weaving during this past weekend, but that can happen from time to time. And like I said, also getting ready, trying to go through stuff, get everything ready for the event. Being the first event, first time we're using our trailer for an event since we bought it early January, before pandemic set in, so we never really got to use it for events yet. I've got it stored in the garage tent thing that we have, just to keep weather off of everything, and never really got to use it yet, so which is kind of nice going through the stuff and looking at everything. I'm like, you know, we keep getting more and more, and it was getting harder and harder to take everything with us to events, and now it's like I'm gonna have more room so I can kind of not have to. Sometimes my packing job was very precise and after the event it never quite got, you know, when you're done with an event, it's normally you're a little quicker to get everything packed up because the event wants you kind of closed up and get out of the way quickly too. but you're ready to go. And so things don't quite get back the way they're supposed to be, at least when you're packing things that need to be precise to make everything fit. So that will actually be a nice change, not having to worry about that after an event, that, you know, everything's a little more loose fitting. Like I said, some of my boxes that I had, everything had to be packed in that box just right, or you wouldn't get everything back in there. It's kind of the I went to UPS about 2-3 months ago now, and I had packed this box. It was being shipped up to Canada. Had several laser, and that ring I need to. This ring's no good. I scratched it when I was pulling out the ring before. I felt something, but I wasn't sure. But anyway, I had this box packed up. I had several laser etched items in it too. And I'm trying to make it the smallest as I can because, I mean, shipping to Canada was just insanely priced. This whole thing, it wasn't all that much. I think it was like 15 pounds. I guess that's somewhat heavy-ish. But the shipping on it was $70 to get to Canada. So I packed in the smallest box I could, and I did spend about an hour packing this box just perfect, getting everything, you know, so everything was nice in there, tight, not too tight, not overly tight. But since you were shipping it to Canada through UPS, they had to take everything out and look at it, verify what you were sending and everything. And so I'm sitting here watching him unpack everything, double checking everything, putting it in the system, all that good stuff. And he gets done doing all that, and he's looking at it and starts putting it back in the box, and I'm thinking to myself, no, that's not going to work, dude. I've done that myself. You've got to put them in. He worked on it, I swear, for about 20 minutes trying to repack this box with everything I had in there. And he's like, and I finally asked him, I was like, do you mind if I do it? I kind of remember how I had things going in, and so I started putting it in. I was just grabbing the pieces I need and putting them in there, and he's like, yeah, I guess you did pack that the way you know what you're doing. And I was like, yeah. Took me a while to get them all fit in this way, so took me about 5 minutes probably at the most to there's one thing we had to repackage, because when he went to look at it, he kind of ripped open the box, that because each one of these were not necessarily individually boxed, but like my cutting boards and stuff, they had their own cardboard boxes they went into and all that. So I think it was my coaster set that we had to rebox. He had a small box that fit him, a little bit bigger than the box I had, so I did have to kind of change it up a little bit, but that's why it took me about 5 minutes myself to get it repacked, because I did have to adjust for that. But I don't know, I'm trying to remember how many total items we had in there. I think we had 16 total items. It was a fairly large order going up there to Canada. Alright, so yeah, see, that'll look much better, I think, than the way it was the other way. Trial, error, trial, error, trial, error. Yeah, I need to go above. Oh, getting out of view again. I want to pull it all real close to me today. Gotten into a bad habit of that today compared to normal. I'm gonna grab a drink again real quick. Like I said, everything was so crazy getting this going. I normally, you know, I start at 7:30, but I normally start actually setting up about 6. I try to get the table all set up, get all the other stuff out of the way. You know, that can take me 20-30 minutes depending on what I'm doing. I got to pull out rings, make sure I have everything ready so I don't have to do it during the stream. And then starting at 7, by 7 o'clock I'm setting up all my stream web pages, you know, because I stream to Facebook, to YouTube, and the Twitch. Each one of those got to be open. I've got to add the description to each one of them, get my software OBS opened up, and cameras, make sure they're on, and always a little bit of a process to get going. And tonight was just crazy trying to get it all going in half the amount of time, so I was kind of rushing around getting everything going tonight. Didn't get everything for the stream for the most part got ready, but I still got some laundry I got to get taken care of. Still a few things upstairs I need to get done. So, and then back into doing, like I said, the website for the band's thing. I need to get into it and finish it up mostly tonight. I did have, oh hell, I guess over the weekend too, I could not for the life of me get a program to install. My normal graphics draw program that I use, I've used it for years and years. For some reason on this reboot, every time it'd go to install at like 95, 92, 95%, it would crash out the system, give me a blue screen of death. And it's the only program. I got every other program on there other than that one, and that's the one I normally use for most of my graphics work for the band website, and for the most part, not necessarily my laser etching. I will use it for the laser to do pre-work, but then I pull it over into another program when I actually go in to start getting it ready for laser parting or etching itself. But this program, man, I tried so many times. I actually grabbed the old copy of an older version I had of it that I bought years ago too, and every time kept crashing on me, and I still don't know what the problem is. I tried it several different ways, safe modes, administrator modes, and for some reason it just keeps constantly crashing. I've tried to look it up. Nobody else has ever had this problem, I guess, so I'm hoping I don't have to fully do another reboot to the system to get it to work, but I'm kind of concerned I might have to, because I love the program and I hate to not use it. I'm actually working on a few graphics for the band parents right now that I'm using a totally different program that I have used, but nothing in the capacity that I use my other program for doing things, and there's just certain things that I don't know how to do in the new program that I'm so used to in the other one. And so that's kind of given me some minor problems trying to get these graphics done that I've been wanting to get done. So, instead of something that would normally take me, hour or 2 hours to fully get done in my other graphics program, it's taking me, 5-6 hours to do. It's getting done, but it just takes a lot longer, and that's driving me a little bonkers, because it's like I would not be having this problem. And then I did spend probably good 6 hours between Friday night, Saturday, and a little bit Sunday to get that program to install. So it took away from doing the graphics, trying to just get that program to install. So that drove me a little bonkers. I don't want to have to redo my system, because I did have one issue. I always use Thunderbird and Firefox, and I use Mozilla's backup tool to back up those, so whenever I do one of these, I've got all my emails saved, all my favorites and blah 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 saved. But with the new Firefoxes, I saved the wrong profile. I'm so used to using just the one that says default, and I guess they've gone away from that and now use one called default release, I guess. And I seen it there. I didn't think nothing about it, because I'm like, I've always just used default, just always used default, not default release, because I've never seen it before. And oops, went through the wrong one there. No, I didn't. Let me pull that out here. Yeah, that's 2. Yeah, I guess I did. And so I didn't save the other one, so I actually lost about 1.5 years worth of emails, and so that didn't help things. I mean, luckily, most of that stuff I didn't need per se, but it definitely threw a wrench into everything whenever I was trying to get it all done and everything reinstalled. And when I went to open that up, I was like, well, where's my emails from last week? They're not here. And like I said, luckily it wasn't that much of a thing. It could have been worse, I guess, by far. What am I doing here? And I did have one order come in during that time, but I was using the web-based stuff, so that kind of saved me on that side. But yeah, it kind of blew me away that they changed that up. And I mean, I should have looked more closely at it when I seen the two different profiles under there for my backing up, but I didn't. So let's see here. What am I doing? All right. Well, let's see here. Where are we at here? Hour 9. I think we're probably going to go ahead and close it up for tonight. A little early. But I need to go to the restroom. I was hoping I wouldn't have to during the stream, and we're getting kind of close near the end anyway, so we'll go ahead and call it quits. I'll try to save this till next week. I might actually finish up tonight, because I've probably only got about 20-30 minutes left of work to do to see if this is going to work, because if it doesn't work, it could take longer. So we'll see how that goes, but we'll go ahead and close it up for tonight. We will be back on Wednesday night for a small project night. Still don't know what I'm going to do on that yet, but we'll be doing something for sure. But y'all have a great night. Thanks for stopping in and watching us. Don't forget to like us, give us shares and likes, and subscribe between YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So y'all have a great night, and we'll see you Wednesday.